if you let them make you believe that there's possibility, and then you have hope, so then you keep trying, all they have to do is fabricate the loss, bam, and it's over. They destroy you again. Because remember, you started attaching now your worth to this, to the hope event. That's how they do it with the string. I want you guys all to piece together. What are the things that they attached my worth to? And then they said that is what determines your worth. And they give you hope there. They give you hope there. They give you hope there. And then they pull the string that makes you fail. So now you don't have hope anymore. So then you give up. And when you give up, not by choice, because you guys understand, if you give up by choice, then it doesn't matter anymore. But when you don't give up by choice, a problem occurs, a conflict occurs. Because that's what you're going to really understand, guys, is what I'm teaching all of you on how to cut all your strings and how to feed all of them is it's a clash that happens. It's a tug of war. We are removing that clash. We're removing the battle that occurs by taking control of it and just cutting it for ourselves. Be like, you know what? I identify all these strings. I'm cutting them. And they're there on the ground. I see all of them. But I'm not letting them control me anymore. Because if you believe it's possible, then problems happen. I don't have hope anymore, right? I'm saying I can't do anything to change things anymore. I can't. I don't care anymore. But it doesn't mean that we can't do. You guys have to understand the hope string. Where are they giving you guys hope? Where? You have to break that one. That is actually, now that I've talked this through, that might be the most important one to break. Because any area that they give you hope in is where they're planning to destroy you through. You have to destroy the hope event. You have to destroy the hope string. You have to identify any area where they're starting to build up hope in. Just be like, hey, you know what? This is awesome, but it's not possible. What does that do? If you don't think that if you give up front, be like, you know what? No, it's not possible. You don't care anymore. For most of you, I'm going to use a work example just because you guys, for you, it makes sense. I'm using it just to conceptualize, but think about, I want you guys, that's the overt one. There's something else in your life for all of you, multiple things that they are doing this to and have done this to, and that's how they're controlling you. And like, imagine if from the beginning, the first interview or the first application that you do, you're like, I don't really care about this one. I just don't think it's possible to get it at all. And you actually get a response. You're like, whoa. You're like, they're just toying with me. They don't think I'm actually a good fit. There's no way. Do you guys understand that you're going to walk differently? I think about it for guys like, hey, if I want to talk to a girl and I'm like, I don't think it's possible. Like, there's no way she's actually going to respond to me or talk to me or want to date me. There's no way. And like, she actually does. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Do you guys understand that when you just give up front, you're like, it's not possible. And you've now got to a point where you operate without, you don't need belief anymore of possibility to do so. You don't need hope. You'll just do regardless. Because once you cut all your strings, you guys just do. You don't need motivations to do. Because I'm not doing this for a reward. And that's the last string, guys. Change, external, reward, and a result. Imagine if I only did this stream today, this video, because I knew that it was going to make a girl respond to me. If that happens, you guys understand, that's awesome. But I don't think it's possible. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't believe it is. And you know what? I don't even care if it does anymore. That's really cool to say because I used to. And the same thing for healing people, for breaking people free, for people getting the answers, for people around me, family, stuff like that. Like, do you guys understand? I cared so much. And I was getting destroyed over that because they were preventing it. And then like I told you guys, they all the other strings, right? My purpose, my meaning, but it all came down to the 8th string, change, an external, something overt. because that's what we measure change by, something that we can see, a reward, a result. And I'm telling you guys, they created that string in all of you. You have to piece together all the events. What are the things that you consider change? What would I consider is people healing and breaking free? What are the things that would indicate that? Well, I talk about very complex topics, and I talk about essentially human design and the way the brain works and the way we think and the way humanity operates and why we do what we do. Those are not easy topics to discuss. So most people are afraid, and I discussed it on websites that don't have the veil of anonymity. So a lot of people are afraid to showcase that they consume such content because they don't want to have that image. Do you guys understand? They have that string, they have that chain that's tying them back. So I could be like, well, what indicates change is if people like comment or like my post or do something about, or my comments to indicate that there's change. Wow, people aren't afraid to interact with these things anymore. The more people that do that indicate that there's more people breaking free and believing. Does that indicate that? No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. But I'm telling you guys, a few months ago, I thought so. Do you guys understand that a few weeks ago, there was a day where I was like, I'm just going to like random things. Just do it. Just to be a nudge to remind people of who I am. What if they did that? But what if that person now attributes it to like, oh, why? So I did something right or I caused it. You guys understand? We attribute things to other things based on our journey, based on our climb up the world tree to reach paradise. Everything that they've installed in us, all the side paths they made us walk, all the things that we saw, all the strings that they created, they seasoned us, all these things. And they determined what we consider change. They created that string. You guys understand that at any point they want to make us believe that change is occurring. They just pull that string to showcase those things. And I'm like, is it? You can't base it on an external. You can't base it off a reward. You just can't. It's just not possible. They're like, then what can you base it on? Nothing. You just do. And if something happens, you're like, whoa. Do you guys understand? Like if someone messages to me, it's like, hey, I just want you to know, I'm like the CEO of an airline company or like an apartment building. And I'm removing all costs. All flights are not free. And all my tenants don't have to pay for rent anymore because I consumed your stuff. I'm like, cool. I'm like, spread it. Pass it forward. Get one of your other CEO friends to do that. It's awesome. Yeah. Old version of me 2 years ago would have been like, oh my God, it's happening, guys. It's happening. It's happening. Do you guys see? I had a string attached to me before that at any point they could just make it seem like progress is happening. And I'm telling you, that's how most of these storylines that I'm doing today ended up happening because they made me believe that I was actually succeeding in causing change. And I'm not saying that I didn't, but do you guys understand that they knew that they had kept that away from me for so long that they finally gave me hope that I was causing change, and it baited me down paths. I'm saying once you believe it's not possible anymore, I'm like, I don't think it's possible anymore. I would love to be proven wrong, but I really don't think it's possible. I just don't. I realized that I'm like, it doesn't matter how good I explain things. This is probably one of my best ones, and it doesn't matter. It's a summary of everything. Every single time there's just, we're so good at explaining things in different ways, but it's all the same shit. It really is. And I'm just like, it doesn't matter. Like I can give all of you all the answers over and over again and explain it a million different ways. But if you guys don't actually explore and stress test and try and cut all your strings yourself and identify all of them, then it doesn't actually matter what I do. It just doesn't. So now it doesn't matter anymore. Now I don't care. I don't think it's possible to change anything. All of a sudden, it doesn't matter what they present anymore. All of a sudden, it doesn't matter what they try to remind me of. Doesn't mean it's still not a moment. Remember what I said, guys? You grab the string, you're like, ugh. It's discomfort. It feels icky. It feels weird because it is. Do you guys understand? It's a permanent string that they installed in us. We're going to end here. It's a permanent one where they installed in us, and it's poison. It actually is literally poison. It makes us feel worse because it was intended. It was built from day one. They were starting to build it up to make it be bad for us. So that means that at any point they just present some kind of reminder of the string. Right? Remember I told you about the girl and the dad and the kid, the poison spider, the crayon, the lion, the lamb, the phoenix, the holographic lion, stuff like that. The mom saying that something bad happened to her kid. All those stuff are real. They created that. Do you guys understand? It's a poison string that they have. And they use it on us all the time, every single one of us. And then they try to make sure that we have our planned negative expected intended reaction and our planned positive counters to it. Because then guess what? If I present an event right here where my finger is, right by the line, and I'm like, okay, the negative one makes them walk this path and the positive one makes them walk this path. Do you guys understand that if at any point, you're over here by the owl, if I want to get you back over there to start seeing the things that happen in this area, this region, I just have to present that string, and then you either walk this way or this way. I would prefer if you walk the positive one right now. If you walk that one, I'm like, it's okay. They still are going to get seasoned. They're going to see the lion. Do you guys understand? That's how they do it. Because the temporary ones, what if I moved you down here by the lamb? Like you see the lamb, you're like, it changes your path. You think a little differently, but it doesn't do much because it wasn't reinforced. It wasn't repeated. There wasn't, because once you guys understand, once you start, if you analyze the 8 strings, guys, if you start piecing together the 8 strings that they created in all of you and the main events that they do, the things I'm saying, we got chosen for a few bad things and a few good things. Okay. Once you start identifying those, you realize like, oh, that's where they installed permanent ones too. That's like I said, like, I know there's the girl path is like, it's my main storyline at this point. Now I realize it, like it really is, guys. Like it really is. So there's so many that are around that. You guys get it? Like there's so many things that happen around that. Like, so once you start piecing that together, guys, it all makes sense. You start seeing how they did it. Every single thing was pieced together around that. Do you understand? That's your main story. It's your victory conditions, your condition, everything. I'm telling you guys, everything, all the problems that I experienced and all the good is tied around that main. Like you guys see, like you see that, like, okay, so, but they each have, there's like subdivisions, right? Like little subtopics. But I'm saying each of you guys were chosen for a select few things, and then they created subdivisions related to that. But you guys have to piece that together, what it is. For each one of you, it's different. I'm telling you, for myself, it's getting a girl, building a family, having a kid, a pet, exploring life. Literally, that's what I was chosen for. You guys understand? And all the problems and all the good are around that. It's just, that's what it is. It's just that simple. Once you see it, you can never unsee it. You're like, holy shit, like everywhere, right? We were just chosen for select few things, and this is just what it is. But what does that mean? It means that there's temporary strings that they created for other stuff, but they might change how I interact with like a girl, for example, in my case. But you guys understand? It's just temporary. It's not the permanent ones, not the poison ones or the positive ones that were permanent. But they still affect it a little bit. Do you guys get it? But I'm saying when you're fully healed, because what is really cutting the strings, guys? Cutting all the strings is actually just being healed. It's knowing who you are. It's knowing what you believe in, not letting any suggestion or motivation dictate your path. It doesn't mean that you can't consider it. It doesn't mean that you don't, yeah, I know girl paths are my positive, but I'm like, no, not right now. You're like, how's that possible? Why wouldn't you always do your positive? I'm like, no, not right now. Do you guys understand? You can always choose. You make every single choice. You know why. You see it. You understand it. You're like, oh, well, that's a positive. Oh, well, that's a poison. So avoid this. Go down this direction. But you know what? We're not going to do the owl right now. No, even though it's a positive, we're going to be right here. We're fine right now. You get to that point because you're fully healed. Do you guys understand?